Daria is an economics student who has chosen to explore a new topic for her: how a PC is made. During the process, he studied technical sheets and tutorials and used an LLM to explore, organize, and better understand the content. Now she has reached the point where she has decided to apply what she has learned. She wants to assemble her new PC by herself. Assembling a PC is not just an academic exercise. It requires putting acquired knowledge into practice by coordinating manual skills, logic, and problem solving. The practical application of concepts is very important. In many pedagogical perspectives, such as constructivism, practical application is the bridge that connects theory to reality, making learning more meaningful and lasting. In this case, Daria does not just study how a PC works. By assembling the computer, she wants to use her knowledge in a real context. Daria starts by organizing her workspace. She prepares all the necessary components: motherboard, CPU, RAM, power supply, graphics card, hard drive, and case. With the help of her LLM, she created a detailed checklist of the materials she needs to prepare. After the preparation phase, Daria begins to carefully follow the assembly process. For this purpose, she asked her LLM, "Can you break down the assembly process into clear steps, with attention to detail? Make me a flow chart. Can you also tell me in advance the most common mistakes for each step and how I can avoid them?" To approach a process in a clearer and more organized way, the first step is indeed to ask the language model to break it down into a series of simple and sequential steps. This allows you to better understand the concept you want to apply or the activity you want to carry out. For example, you can make a request like, "Can you explain this process by breaking it down into clear and easy to follow steps?" This way, you'll get a linear structure that makes the entire process more manageable and easier to understand. Once you have the steps defined, it is useful to anticipate any obstacles by asking the model what the most common mistakes are associated with each step. You can ask, for example, what are the mistakes that often occur in step X or throughout the entire process? This allows you to be proactive, preparing yourself to recognize and prevent potential issues before they arise. Finally, for each identified mistake, it's important to look for practical solutions. You can ask the model, "How can I avoid this mistake? What strategies can I adopt to deal with this situation?" This approach not only makes the process more robust, but also provides you with useful tools to act with greater awareness and effectiveness. During the assembly, a problem arises. The PC doesn't turn on. Instead of getting discouraged, Daria carries out the checks that come to mind, but nothing works. So she asks the LLM what the common causes might be for a newly assembled PC that won't start. Make sure the RAM is properly inserted. Check the motherboard for any loose connections. In fact, she hadn't thought of that. The motherboard isn't properly connected. This mistake was an opportunity to clearly understand the importance of this aspect and reach a solution. But if you happen to develop a different type of applied exercise, for example in math, physics, or another theoretical subject, in that case, the activity preparation phase would change slightly. Instead of organizing physical tools and materials, your focus should be on preparing your conceptual tools, such as strategies. For example, you could ask the LLM for a list of rules, which you can use to solve the exercise with concrete examples. Can you remind me of the main rules of X in a simple way, giving me concrete examples? The second step that Daria takes is also perfectly transferable. In fact, you could ask your LLM to present you with the various steps to follow in order to solve a problem, as well as the most common mistakes that occur in each step or in solving the problem as a whole. With this approach, even a simple problem becomes an opportunity to practice a rigorous method, just like Daria does when assembling her PC. And what if, like Daria, you still find yourself stuck on a math exercise? You've gone through all the steps, but the result doesn't add up. You go over all the algebraic calculations step by step, but you can't find anything wrong. Instead of getting discouraged, you could ask the LLM for help with specific questions. Can you help me review the process? The AI might respond with helpful suggestions like, check if you simplified the fractions correctly, or review the unit of measurement. Are they consistent? A word of caution. Not every LM is necessarily capable of guiding you through every type of exercise yet, but their capabilities are constantly evolving. It's about trying things out and always keeping your critical thinking sharp. Regardless of the type of process you need to carry out, whether it's practical or conceptual, I'd like to particularly highlight this last step of asking the LLM to help you manage mistakes as a true learning opportunity. Uploading the exercise and simply having it corrected, or even having the LLM do it for you, perhaps to compare it with your own, might not be the most effective way to use the LLM for learning. In practice, you need to start from the idea that the LLM is your ally in using mistakes not as obstacles or failures, but as valuable resources for growth and improvement. In this perspective, mistakes become allies, opportunities to move toward a deeper understanding and a deeper mastery, and a more solid command, a more solid foundation of your skills. Language models like LLMs are generally designed and trained to simulate a communicative context that is respectful and mindful of the user's sensitivity. Therefore, if used consciously, they can truly turn mistakes into opportunities for active learning, intervening in various ways. First of all, they can offer you personalized feedback, providing precise guidance on the mistakes made and suggesting strategies to correct them. This allows you to improve in a targeted and progressive way. Moreover, if properly prompted, they can stimulate your reflection, helping you understand not only what the mistake was, but also the reason behind it. This promotes a deeper understanding that goes beyond simple correction. Finally, they can create specific exercises for you to strengthen the areas where you have encountered difficulties. Through targeted activities, the model can help you consolidate your skills and reduce the risk of making the same mistakes in the future. If we manage to leverage these capabilities, we can make our LLM act like an attentive tutor who doesn't just correct or point out where the mistakes are, but helps us become progressively more independent in our learning journey.